Hey everyone, it's Coach She here. Listen, I just wanted to put a little bit of information out. The topic of this discussion for the next few minutes, and I mean few, is that context matters. It's not a new concept, you've heard it before. But in a world where we are dealing with a lot of soundbite experiences, quick clips that get the attraction of people, but we miss the overall context that the quick clip is being referenced in. I think this is just my own opinion. I think it's doing us some damage, right? Because there are a lot of great statements that we can make. I am a coach, a therapist, a spiritual leader. And out of all of the three, I've been a spiritual leader for the longest time. So I lead a community along with my husband. And when he met me, he would always say, you're very thorough in your word expression. And for me, it was always important. I loved words. I loved the content. I loved the context. And it was always important to me to make sure that the particular audience that was right in front of me that I served understood why we were bringing the message to them, for them, not for everyone else. And so that translates for me in my therapeutic experience. In therapy, we have interventions. We could use a whole bunch of interventions on a whole bunch of people, and the interventions will work differently with each person. Now, the foundational structure of that might be similar, but the outcomes are specific to each person. I believe that about therapy connections. I believe that about spiritual communities. I believe that about anything that we bring that is designed to impact people. So this is where the context of the content matters, right? Sound bites are the wonderful ways to gain interest to something can be detrimental. And I'm understanding that more now that I'm doing my research for my dissertation. We have a lot of material, articles upon articles upon articles upon articles that we have to review. But then those things tether back to other anchoring or seminal articles, foundational things that we need to contend with as well in order to get the actual context of what the entire theme means. And when we don't do that, we run the risk of misinterpretation. How many times have we misinterpreted something based off of a shorter version of a conversation or communication or soundbite that had no real regard of the context, the overall context of what that actual conversation, communication, or message was. But because we're living in this fast-paced place and individuals are moving so quickly that sound bites are enough for them, oftentimes we are left with a lot of miscommunication. And here's the thing, this is just my opinion. I don't expect anybody else to have it. Sometimes I think we went in the wrong direction when we started recording everything. Now that's just me. I just recognize that everything is not for everyone. Even in our spiritual community, there are messages for that community that I am with because I know them. And God knows them, and He will send a message specifically for them that may not be relevant or accessible in the same way for another community. So preach the same message. Preach one message in 3 different places, and 3 different places will have a different experience with that one message. That in itself is very powerful because each individual has a unique experience. Each community has a different experience. So when we're listening to sound bites, I want to encourage you to really either slow down and listen and tether back to the original conversation so that you can get the full context of what this meant in that experience, because moments are measured by the individual that is experiencing or having the moment. And that's very difficult for the masses sometimes to understand. Context matters because what you could observe being outside of the room it could feel like nonsense to you. But the people in the room, or the one person in the room, can feel like that was the most life-changing experience for me because of everything that was in the room, not just the sound bite that you heard. So remember that I said this: context in your life, context in your communications, context in your conversations. Slow down and take the time to get the whole meat of the matter. It's going to be important in order for all of us to sustain healthy understanding. Don't get lost in the sound bites. Don't get lost in the quick clips. There's more to the story than that. Seek it out. I hope this helps. I'll be back with more stuff. Have a great evening. Bye.